Wherever you are in the world, good day, good people, good day, and welcome to WOW, which only well live television broadcast, where I am your host, SherVonne Grose, marriage and family therapist, inspirational coach, and motivational speaker. You know what we do on Wednesday, guys? We come to WOW, and by WOW, I mean to wish only well all across the world. Today is Wednesday. It is a good day indeed to wow somebody. It is a wonderful, wonderful Wednesday. So listen, I am so excited about my special guest that's already in the studio, that's backstage and ready to come out and get the conversation started, right? But you know how we do, guys. We do justice by properly introducing. So let me tell you a little bit about my special guest who is already here in the studio with us today. Okay. So our guest today is none other than Jarvis Releford. Jarvis is an internationally known photographer, cutting edge brand strategist, author, and public speaker. Jarvis has successfully transitioned from a 10-year tenure in corporate banking to full-time entrepreneurship, helping business owners attract an endless flow of clients and sell higher ticket items, while ultimately helping them make more money without wasting time at networking events. So, no stranger to the marketplace, and through his magnetic marketing system, Jarvis has managed to help the entrepreneurs he's worked with collectively generate upward of $45 million in 2021. That's a wow, right? Men wow too. With a reputation that precedes him, Jarvis has worked with several major brands and universities such as Coca-Cola, Sprint, and Emory University. Jarvis' work has been featured in Voyage ATL, Jezebel Magazine, TV One, and Bravo Networks. Jarvis's passion to see the businesses he works with Jarvis's passion to see the businesses he works with win fuels his drive and ultimate goal to help those entrepreneurs create overflowing streams of income that result in generational wealth. All right, so guys, without further ado, let's welcome to the show Jarvis Releford. Hi, Jarvis. Welcome.
Hey, how
welcome,
you
welcome.
doing?
I'm wonderful. How are you today?
I'm good. Can you hear me?
I hear you fine.
Cool.
You're a little low, but I hear you fine. Let me tap in to see, because if we have any viewers that's watching through social media, they can actually they can send us a comment and let us know if they can hear us or not hear us. But yeah, I hear you fine.
Awesome. Sounds good.
Yeah. So how's your day been?
It's been a good day. We've been rocking and rolling, just trying to make things happen. How about you?
Everything is going good on this end. Everything is actually going wonderful, as a matter of fact. So
Good, good, good.
we're gonna hop right into, because I know that people are probably real eager to hear what it is that you have to say and how you can help them. So first of all, tell us. Let's talk a little bit about your gifts and talents, right? Your gifts and talents basically includes photography, videography, creative designs, and branding, right? So you use a combination of these things to help business owners succeed,
Absolutely.
right? Yeah, and so yeah, but you also use your talents and gifts in ministry. That's your way of giving back and serving. What do you have to say in reference to that?
It is. So, I mean, and you're absolutely right. We use everything that we have and to create what we need to create for our clients. Our clients come to us a multitude of different ways. They have a multitude of different needs, but ultimately, business owners and entrepreneurs need what? They need business, right? So what we do is we help entrepreneurs and business owners attract an endless flow of business. We help them sell higher ticket items. Ultimately help them make more money. And we do this through multiple different ways. Like you said earlier, we do photography, we do videography, we do graphic design, web design. But more importantly, we do strategy. We develop branding and marketing strategies, giving you the tips and tricks to be able to succeed in the marketplace.
Okay, good deal. Yes, that sounds real awesome. It's a
And you
good thing.
spoke, I'm sorry, I hate to cut you off, but and I know you mentioned serving, and so we do the same thing on the ministry level as well. So with my bishop and pastor at New Faith Christian Church, located in Atlanta, Georgia. We've got a few different locations, but that's exact. I do the same thing there. We're just really trying to build a ministry. It's already free flowing. It's already fully functioning. We're just trying to elevate it and take it where it needs to go.
Yes, of course. I like that word elevation because
Absolutely.
that's important, right?
Absolutely.
So that's exactly what business owner wants to do. We want to elevate, we want to scale our businesses, so that we can get to that next,
This
level
the ring
of.
is bothering me. Was it bothering you?
No, you're good. You're good. Maybe to some viewers,
Okay.
I have had viewers to say, "Hey, we see the
I
ring
get
in your," which is why I don't wear my glasses. But hey, it is what it is. Whatever makes you comfortable and
yeah.
whatever floats your
I don't
boat
like it.
here.
I'm gonna take it off. I don't like it. Go ahead.
Okay.
I'm
Good
sorry.
deal. Good deal. So, do you mind telling us a little bit about how you discover your gifts and talent? How did your journey get started?
How much time do we have?
Well, the whole show is about 30 minutes, and we're already like 5 minutes and 30 some seconds into
We
the show. So,
five minutes
just
in.
quickly tell us.
Okay, so I'll give you the short version. I was working. I was about. I'm not even gonna tell you how old I was, but I was working with music artists. I had a few hip hop artists I was working with. I was working with some R&B artists, and the same issue and problem that business owners have was the same issues and problems that the artists were having in terms of cash flow, being able to attract their audience, identifying their target, all of those different things. And back when we were doing this, everybody didn't have a laptop, everybody didn't have a camera, everybody couldn't create cutting edge graphics, everybody didn't have Photoshop. So what I did was I stepped away from the music and I taught myself Photoshop.
Mm-hmm.
And
Oh,
in teaching,
wow.
I taught myself Photoshop. It took me about a year to get comfortable where I was able to kind of go in and do what I wanted to do. And after that, things began to snowball. I never really ever went back to music. I mean, I created for my people, but I never ever went back into that space on a professional level because I was so buried in work. People were like, "Hey, can you do my flyer? Can you do my business cards? Can you do my posters? Can you do my logos? Can you do this?" So me wanting to do graphic design for one reason ended up turning into a business. So I went from that, and over time, I got tired of people giving me selfies to go on their fly. I got tired of people giving me these camera phone photos to go on their fly on their banners, on their business cards. So what I did was I picked up a camera. At the time I was married, my stepson, he was getting into photography. I had an event come up, and I asked to borrow his camera, and it was lights out from there. I never put the camera back down. So then I was like, well, wait a second, I can put the graphic design together with the photography, mesh it together, and boom, we had a business. And from there, through coaching and training, I hired different coaches, learned marketing, I learned branding, I read books, I read magazines, I watched, I listened to the gurus, I listened to the greats, and I applied the knowledge that I learned to what I do every day. And I've seen success on levels I could never imagine.
Wow. That's awesome. Yeah, that's really awesome how you got to start. It's funny that you say that, like about, you got tired of people sending in photos that really weren't of the quality that you needed for them to be at, to be able to make a flyer, something that that represented, your craft, right? Your creativity. So definitely understand that. So tell us a little bit more about how important it is for business owners to have those professional photos.
It is extremely important. A lot, unless you were living under a rock the past 2 years, business owners saw firsthand how important it was when the pandemic hit, because we couldn't be front and center. We couldn't go out to the marketplace or go to these places and meet these vendors or go to these networking events. All of that was shut down, right? So at this point, every business owner is on social media. Every vendor, everybody is on social media along with the client base. The client base is picking who they're working with based off how professional these people show on social media, how professional these people look on social media. So we saw that happen during the pandemic. And I said it in the beginning of the pandemic, the people that are prepared and ready, we didn't know it was gonna last 2 years. We didn't know that, but those entrepreneurs that got in line prior to the pandemic and during the pandemic came out of the pandemic light years ahead of the entrepreneurs and business owners that didn't. So it is extremely important, because really it's you showing professional on social media is the difference between you getting booked and not booked, or booked and
Mhm.
over. People lose money every day because they chose to go the cheap route. Oh, my brother is a photographer, but he uses his iPhone, or my cousin is a photographer, but he uses his Samsung. Now, I'm not knocking those mediums, I'm not knocking those things, but
Mhm.
The Samsung is only going to take you so far. The iPhone is only going to take you so far. If you want people to take you seriously, you have to invest in your business. So it is extremely important to have professional imagery on as the face of your business.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Well, I learned that, I have professional photos because of you. You
Yeah.
actually the person who did the photos that people see of me. That's actually on my social media sites. And so, yeah. So I get it. Now I get it, but I had no idea
It, it's
how
in
it's
the mind. It's really in the mind. We gravitate to what's our eyes gravitate to what's clean, what's crisp, what looks good, what's colorful, our eyes gravitate to those things. So when it comes to, even in your case, like, we've seen you grow. Like,
right.
we've seen you blossom, we've seen you blow up. Look at what you're doing compared to what you were doing when we took those photos a year and a half ago. You
Yeah, right.
you I'm not taking full credit for that, but what I am taking credit for is people taking you more seriously in the marketplace.
Yeah. Yeah, we had those conversations, which is good because it was more than just you taking photos of me. It was you did the whole gamut. You like, right? You did the logo and you gave me pointers, right? Definitely did some things to kind of help me get adjusted to like being out front and center, which was huge for that. So speaking of taking photos and logos because we don't want to. So tell us, we had discussions too about logos and websites and, just talk a little bit, to the people about the importance of having those things. Well, are they important? Do they need those things?
Yes. Again, the more professional you are, the more prepared you are, the better chance you have at attracting the client that you're looking for, right?
Mhm.
So the unpolished business owner attracts the unpolished client. Does that make sense?
It makes perfect sense.
The polished business owner attracts the more polished client base. So it's extremely important. Your logo, before you get photos done, your logo is the face of your business before anybody, like, when you're
Mhm.
not in the room, your logo is the face of your business.
Right.
People don't believe this. People make decisions of who they're going to work with based off their logo. So
Okay.
all my professional business owners, and I hope your audience doesn't get offended, stay away from these illustrated cartoon logos unless you're in the child care business. Now, if you're in the child care business and you're marketing the safety of your environment to parents, cool, that's fine. But these CPAs and these real estate agents and these financial, and, like, no, we can't, because it's a childish amateur means of marketing. Take it a step deeper, and the Bible speaks about this. It's a form of vanity
Mhm.
to want to put your face front and center of that biz. Like, it's a form of vanity, in I find it to be sick, but that's my personal thing. With I hate them. I just, if someone comes to me and says, "Hey, Jarvis, I got $10,000 for you to create a cartoon logo for me," I would tell them no.
Okay.
I,
Wow.
that's
You feel
so
that strongly about it, right?
it's just, it has no place in the marketplace. And
Yeah.
2 to 3 years, it'll phase out, and we'll be dealing with another fad. So when we're talking about businesses, we're talking about creating longevity. We're talking about earning, multiplying your income. We're talking about all these different things. The cartoon logo is faddish, it's trendy.
Mhm.
When the trend ends, where are we now? It's time to get another logo. Why not just go timeless, classic, elegant from the beginning, so
Yeah.
you don't have to go back um, to do it later down the road?
Oh, awesome. Well, I mean, you apologize, but that's the whole purpose of kind of having you on. You're coming on when I bring on guests when when they're invited to this particular platform, and I ask you to speak on a certain topic, is because at this particular moment, you're the expertise in whatever it is that you're the expert in whatever we're talking about, and so that's the advice that you're given. Because of course, that was one of the things I wanted to make sure that I gave you the opportunity to give some advice. So there you go, without me even having to ask, you've given that particular piece of advice. Now, let's move into something a little more different, like, addressing the things that we don't typically address when we, talk about entrepreneurship, right? And so we know that entrepreneurship can be exhausting, right? In almost every sense of the way, right? If you think about, it can be exhausting physically, it can be exhausting mentally, it can take a toll on your social life as well, your emotional piece for sure, the highs and the low, and definitely the financial piece. So yeah, so I think, you and I talked about, as we were preparing to put together this show, we talked about, the ugly side of entrepreneurship, that side that no one wants to talk about. So, there are a lot of challenges, to having your own business, and we don't often talk about that. We talk about the glow up, the other side of it, what we've come through, but we often leave out the challenges that, that come along with that, trying to find the ideal staff, find the financial aspect of it, or the lack thereof of finances, right? The lack of resources, just the hard work and the long hours and the toll that it does have on your mental and physical health. So speak to that, if you will.
Right. And I'm glad you brought this up, because I see all too often, I see posts on social media about, well, all I hear about is how much money you made, and all I hear about is the car that you drive, and all we see is this. And to be totally honest, we've created the successful entrepreneurs, you myself, the successful entrepreneurs have created an environment for those on the outside looking in to think that it's peaches and cream. Or you get your own schedule, you vacation when you want a vacation, you do what you want to do, you don't have to clock in, you have nobody to answer to, you make all this money, you drive what you want to drive, you don't have anything to worry about. And while those are true things. I don't clock in, you know what I mean? I don't have anybody to answer to. However, the dark side, the ugly side of entrepreneur, nobody shows the 18-hour days that we
Right.
put. You know what I'm saying? Nobody sees. On top of that, nobody sees the 18-hour days that we put in, and we don't get paid per hour.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Nobody understands that. So when we're talking about the 18, 19, sometimes 20-hour days that you're putting into your business, who lacks? Those of us that have families, those of us that have children, wives, in your case, husbands, those of us that have family, who takes the hit? The kid.
Right.
The family takes the hit, but we don't talk about that on social media. And I'm gonna be the first to tell you, my kids take a hit. Not only do my kids take a hit, my relationships take a hit. We keeping it keeping it real.
Keep it real, because people need to know, right?
I cannot thrive in a successful relationship because, and this is my reasoning. I was married, right? I was married and I was broke. Right? I was married and broke. I'm divorced and I'm
that's probably more common than you realize, but go ahead. Go ahead.
I was married, broke, I divorced, and that's when my trajectory began to I began to glow up, as we say. So I am not willing to psychologically, and I'm gonna probably get you to talk to me about this, talk me through this, but psychologically, I associate being married with being broke.
Wow. Yeah.
I know it's not true, and I know it's just my thinking.
Yeah.
Associate me being single with being financially secure. So that's the ugly side of entrepreneurship. You see what I'm saying? My thoughts are, I'm now screwed up mentally because I know you can be married and be good, and I know you can be single and still be broke. So in my case, that has tarnished a lot of great relationships that I've been a part of, because I choose to work before I choose to go to the movies. I choose to work before I choose to go on vacation. I choose to work before I go on a date. I choose to make money before I go out and spend money. And I know if I go out to the movies, I'm gonna still make money. You know what I'm saying? I know that, but I make these decisions, and the women that I'm with, they're like, nah, that doesn't work for me. And you know what I'm saying? Like, it's sad, and hopefully, as we grow, this thing around. But that's just where I am. Like, if it doesn't make dollars, it doesn't make sense to me.
Wow. Yeah.
side of entrepreneurship. So now people are probably watching and thinking like, well, doesn't have any compassion. Jarvis doesn't have any heart. But those are the side effects of success.
Yeah.
Those are like, you guarded. You like, no, I'm guarding my heart. I'm guarding my money. I'm guarding my business. I'm not gonna let somebody come in and take. So again, those are the things that we don't talk about. My kids, they see me. I'm not gonna flex like I'm not dad, like super dad. I'm super.
Right. Mm-hmm.
We're not gonna
Right.
act, like I'm not a part of their lives. But
Yeah.
my kids take a hit. Like my
Yeah.
kids take a hit, and they'll tell you, we see dad, we see that, but we know he's working, and they understand. And they still see the fruit of my labor. So when they want to go to Atlantic Station and they want to go to the movies and this is why daddy works so hard, so that you can go out and do these.
Right, for sure. Yeah. And I think that's good that you mentioned that, because it's like that, having that communication. Communication is key to in any relationship. And it's almost like most problems in any type of relationship is directly related to a lack of communication. So being able to establish that up front, and having those conversations, because it's to each his own. And so that's your mentality based upon your experience, right? And what has happened. And so because of that, that's how you see it. So it's like, I choose to grind, if you would say. So I choose to get my grind on. And when I'm to where I want to be, right, even though I know you're going to want to go further, but where I feel that I'm comfortable, or I feel like now I have that time where I can have that relationship, or I can do whatever, then that would happen. But you got to get to that point first. But yeah, it definitely is a lot of giving and a lot of giving. So a give and take. So yeah, there are a lot. So it's interesting that you mentioned like mental health, like in a sense, because you said, hey, I might need to talk to you, because everybody knows, yeah, I am marriage and family therapist. So anyway, but the correlation between the mental health and entrepreneurship, because there really is, it's a real correlation between the two. So for me, to say this, and I know that it's easier said than actually done, but I like to think of it as like the KISS method, right? KISS, just for the letters, is keeping it simple and sweet, right? When we're talking about mental health and we're talking about entrepreneurship. And what I mean by that is basically, and I wrote this down, so I wrote it down. So it's like, take care of your you take care of your mental health needs. If you take care of your mental health needs, then you're able to take care of your business needs, right? The aspects of your business. But if you don't do that, it's going to be hard for you to make sure that you're successful because you're going to experience a lot of burnout. And I know a lot of people don't want to hear that, because it does require you to actually do, to grind, but you got to have that balance. And it starts with you, first of all, being able to identify when too much is too much. And a lot of times we don't do that. We keep continuously going. We keep continuously grinding when we're, trying to build, trying to scale our businesses. But it's important that we are intentional. Especially now, everybody has gotten on the self-care bandwagon, especially since COVID. Everybody is talking about self-care and the importance of a lot of big corporations. They've also adopted that and start talking and implementing some things, which is good. But I still think self-care is undervalued. Like, we don't do enough of that, and people don't really have a thorough understanding of what self-care really is and what it all entails. So I think that's important also, to be able to, you hear it all the time, like, do self-care, but people really don't understand that if you start with being intentional about your self-care, it would eliminate a lot of the mental health issues that we see. Now, don't get me wrong, for all of the, mental health gurus out there, I know that genetics plays a part too in a lot of the major disorders, but I'm talking about the mental exhaustion that we get, being stressed and overwhelmed because of that kind of stuff that we go through as business owners. Your
Right.
take on that?
I completely agree. I started therapy like maybe about a year or two ago, because I began to see the effects that it was having on my relationship. So I was looking for a way to an outlet. Like, again, this goes back to the ugly side of entrepreneurship. Nobody talks about the depression.
Yeah.
Nobody talks
Right.
about anxiety.
It happens, right?
Nobody talks about the burnout. Nobody talks about my kids need to go here. I got a client that needs me here, and I got a report due at such and such. Like, and it's overwhelming. And then you got clients complaining and ready to get their money back because they didn't read the email or the contract that you sent out. So now you got to get on the phone with them and explain to them what they should have read. Like, it's exhausting. And for me, and this is wrong. It's wrong in business, but I play with my heart. I play the game with my heart. So when I'm talking, it's compassion. It's this for the people you work with. So just imagine the people that you're giving your heart to and you're giving your soul and your sweat and tears. They're not happy with what you're giving them and they want more, or they're trying to get over on it, or all of these things play into to your mental health. Self-care is extremely important. I recently started back therapy and she's amazing. Shout out to Corey. She's amazing. She breaks things down for me that I never really ever understood. That was like, and it dates back to childhood. You know what I mean? It dates back
a lot. Yeah. Now you're talking my language. Like, I get that's like, you see that glow that just sort of
absolutely,
right.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Once I was able to kind of get a grip and hand, like, wait, this is what I'm experiencing, and it's okay. And this is how you get around it. This is how you overcome these thoughts, and these feelings, and these emotions. But like those 18, 19, 20-hour days afford us the opportunity to go on vacation for a month.
Yeah.
You know what I
mean?
Yeah. So we work hard. We also get a chance to play hard, and vacation, time off, breaking away. And I'm going to be honest, when I leave the computer, the cameras, and all of this stuff behind, and I go sit on the beach for 3-4 days, and I come back, I have the best ideas. I have the best.
Sure.
It's the best. I'm the best because I'm rested mentally, emotionally, physically. I'm rested. And so mental health, self-care is extremely important.
You're right. Yeah, you're actually right about that. You know what? Time goes by so fast when we're having these conversations, right? Because we have like less than 3 minutes left in the show. And so I know that we talked too about the secret sauce of being successful in entrepreneurship despite trauma and hardship. But I feel like you just summarized that really well. Like, the secret sauce is just really rest, right? I would say two things that definitely goes into that sauce, and that would be self-compassion and rest. But if you have self-compassion, then it would be easy for you to do the rest, to get the proper amount of rest that you need. And it doesn't mean like you go somewhere and go to sleep, but sometimes you just need to disconnect from your routine and everything that you actually do. So that sounds good. So it is an asset for us, to recognize that we are important in the business, but it's also important for us to recognize that as much as we are an asset to our business, that we're also limited. So we can't do everything. So we have to release control. And that comes about when we get a really good team that will be able to do some things, and take some of that pressure off. So, yeah. So with that, I'm going to wrap up. On my end, but I'm going to let you finish out with whatever your words of wisdom that you want to give to business owners or to people in general, and also to tell the people how it is that they can connect with Jarvis Releford.
Gotcha. Well, I definitely thank you for having me on the show.
For sure.
Authenticity wins every single time. Clients can see through. I can't curse on this network. Clients.
You cannot.
Through it. I used to throw on the suit and the tie and all of that. And people saw through it because they saw this person, my fitted, my tee, my Jordans, my jeans. They saw that person just in a suit and a tie, and it wasn't as believable. Now I'm more authentic. That's what I give people. If I had to give anybody anything, show up authentically, be your authentic self. There is an audience that wants to hear from you. There's an audience that wants to see you. There's an audience that respects you. You can find me on all social media platforms. We're on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Brand New Consulting Group. You can go to my personal page on Facebook. We got the digital creator account now, so you go to my yes, we're good. We monetized on Facebook now. Jarvis Releford, we're on Facebook. Tap in. I'm here for it, guys. Y'all know how we do it, one brand at a time.
All right, Gary. All right, guys. So you heard it right here on Wow, Wish Only Well Live television show with SherVonne Grose as your host and my special guest, Jarvis Releford. We are out of time, guys, but you know what we do? We wish only well all across the world. So we will catch you next week. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow at 1 p.m. EST on Wow Radio. Show. Have a great marriage and family expert that will be on the show all the way from Nigeria. So until next time, guys, be good, be safe, and we're out.